Hi, gorgeous. I'm going to speak to you a little bit about how your shift is coming in. Now, even though I am 48 years young and my shift began the year of my 40th birthday, it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the same for you. We are all completely different. So the Charis Method is designed for everybody going through any kind of changes, realizing they are empaths. And that can happen at any time. That can happen in your teen years, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, hundreds. Okay, this is not ageist. This is purely to guide you to whichever point you're at. And I'm going to share with you where you could be feeling into how you are an empath. Welcome to Accepting, where I guide you to accept all aspects of your beautiful self, embrace your truth, and live your life that way. Now, it could be that you've realized very early on in your life, my gorgeous, and you're, let's say, 17, 18. And you've realized that actually, because the world is going much more towards the divine feminine, you are much more in tune with what's happening. And because there's a lot more information out there for you, you're realizing sooner that this is what is within you and what is happening with you, and this is the coping mechanism you've created. So you are not alone, my beautiful. Congratulations for noticing and realizing this beautiful gift that you have and how you created yourself as an empath because you were misunderstood. So this is going to help you start developing your gift whilst you're creating your healthy boundaries and just feeling into what feels really right for you. Okay? The world is your oyster. The world's the oyster for all of us. Now, another way that this may be turning up for you is 20s or 30s. You may have been experiencing, and again, in teens as well, you may have been experiencing relationships. And I would like to say it's really important that you're not behind and you're not ahead. You're exactly where you decided to be. Before we're born, we create a contract. We create a life contract. And some of us have it very, very, very specific. When I'm 18, this will happen. When I'm 22, this will happen. When I have my Saturn return, this will happen. When I reach 40, this will happen. Some of us have it very, very specific. Others, and I'm pointing to myself, have, I'm going to go from A to B, and I'm going to learn this, and this. End of. So if you have your contract very, very specific, it's very likely that you're very tuned in, you're feeling exactly what's going on with you, and you're noticing where you're an empath very early on. For those like myself who have got very flexible, very flowy contracts, and it's not bad, good, it just is, it's just how it is, it's what we chose, and the life experiences we chose, it's very likely you're realizing a little bit later. Because, for example, with me, I've had various opportunities throughout my life where I could have chosen something that would have got me onto this path. And something else showed up as a distraction for me to go in the other direction. And it wasn't until an accident on the year of my 40th birthday that I really started going in deep and understanding it. So you're not too early, you're not too late. And if you're 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, you're in the perfect place as well. Remember, you have decided when your awakening is. You have decided to show up in this life at exactly the right time as we're moving more towards the divine feminine, to show up in your beautiful, beautiful, powerful energy. So it may be early as you got that specific contract. It may be you still have a specific contract, and it might be a little bit later at a specific time. And it may be, my gorgeous, as I did, you've had various opportunities and distractions have come in the way and you've gone in another direction. And as you've reached, if you're a woman, you identify as a woman, as you've reached your hormonal situation of perimenopause, where physically the body starts changing, that's when we can really start feeling into shifts as well. So I'd like to make that really clear as well. Sometimes you have decided that your awakening and your shift is going to match with your physical shift with your body. Okay? So that's a possibility as well. And with me, for example, as I mentioned, I'm 48 years young and I'm in the throes of perimenopause as well. And so all these tools are wonderful for balancing your parasympathetic nervous system, because not everybody, I'm just saying from my point of view, I am experiencing the perimenopause. Not everybody will have the ups and the downs, etc. As empaths, and I'm not saying this is absolutely going to happen to you, as empaths, because we feel so much, it's really important that we're hugely looking after ourselves as we go through this shift. Because I mentioned before, sometimes when other people's energy is coming and we're in a crowded situation, if we haven't prepared, we can feel like we're going mad because we don't know what's ours. When our body's shifting, that's already a change, and we're already working with adapting with that change, plus all the changes that are going on around us. So it can feel a little bit much sometimes. So I always say and feel, it's that old adage, prevention is better than the cure. So these are preventative methods. Everything in this is preventative, plus there is the emergency toolkit for you as well, for you to dive into, and obviously, and of course, all of the meditations. So if you're in perimenopause going through this, or menopause going through this, this is wonderful, 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 wonderful for you. It is not just for us perimenopausal women. It is for everybody. Particularly, I have been finding, and I'm speaking for myself here, I have been finding it's really necessary for me to have my tools more and more and more, for me to feel grounded and centered. Because what's also happening is, as I'm changing and shifting and realizing what really, really works for me, my environment is also changing around me and the people are changing around me. So it's really important that I'm balanced and centered and grounded going through this. So if you're experiencing that as well, my gorgeous, it's really important that you're grounded and centered and very, very in your center, your power, your truth, as you're going through this, no matter what is happening on outside of you. Okay? But really important to say that. Now, it may be that you're realizing you're an empath much later in life, and it doesn't mean that you're any less worthy, my gorgeous. It doesn't mean that you've missed the boat. It just means that that was in your contract. You're in exactly the right place at exactly the right moment. As I mentioned, 48 years young, with my education, this wasn't known. This wasn't spoken about. So it's very, very likely that if you're 60s, 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s as well, 80s, 90s, 100s, then it's very, very likely as well that you have a similar experience, and that perhaps you didn't even notice it, and you're only beginning to notice it because the world is moving so much more towards the divine feminine, and is bringing up that sensitivity and is bringing up that empathic quality in you, and you're reviewing and realizing, well, actually, this happened, this happened, this happened, and this is how I feel, and then this happened, and then I did all of that for everybody else, and look where I am now. Because what's happening is, as the world is going more towards the divine feminine, truth is coming out, my gorgeous. So where we were given societal rules before, truth is coming out. Where we were told, from knee-high to a grasshopper, this is how you act, this is what you do, you have to conform with society. It's changing. It's changing so, so much. So I would imagine if you were in that space, that's how it's happening for you. also with the planets as well, we're also in the age of Aquarius. You know, Pluto is an Aquarius, which is that Pluto is the great revealer, and Aquarius is about innovation. So this is all coming through as well. And also, as I'm recording this, Jupiter has just gone into Cancer. And this is really, really beautiful for us empaths, because for a year, Jupiter will be in Cancer, and that is about worth. That is about value. Yes, it's about value in terms of money, if you like. For me, what Jupiter in Cancer is all about is self-worth, is giving yourself value, is allowing yourself to grow, is allowing yourself to expand. Jupiter is all about expansiveness. So you're allowing yourself, where you may have dimmed your shine a little bit throughout your life, you're now allowing that to burst through, my gorgeous, whatever age you may be. Okay? So that's how it shows up. It doesn't show up the same way for everybody. And it might be, my gorgeous, that you didn't start being an empath in your childhood. It may have started later on. It may have, you may have been with a very supportive family who understood your gifts completely, and then you went out into the world and you were in work environments or whatever environments, and you weren't accepted. So then you started changing how you were showing up, and then you started feeling into what everybody else was feeling, so you could adapt to that situation and fit in. Doesn't necessarily have to be childhood. Okay, it's more than likely it is. All I'm saying is if that doesn't resonate with you because you had a supportive family who knew your gifts, who perhaps taught you your gifts, when you went out into the world, they may not have been accepted. So that's when your empath gifts came in. All right. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope that's useful. Do get in touch with me. If you would like to share with me, I love to hear what your stories are. I love to hear how you're getting on. And so much love. Until the next time. Ho.